Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Moletrap here, along with Klazart once again doing Game 4 of the Lost Saga MSL 2009 Finals between Jangbi and Luxury, and been a very, very exciting series thus far. We've seen all kinds of play, we've seen all kinds of units, we've seen masses, we've seen more than a dozen Ultralisks on the screen at the same time, which is a rare, frightening event. We've seen 6 Archons clumped together, which is another rare, frightening event. All kinds of stuff going on. We haven't seen any storm drops though lately. Luxury has shut down almost every storm drop that Jangbi has attempted with Scourges, so props to him for doing that. Although last game didn't even get anywhere near that point. It was an early game win by Luxury, so he took the series lead at 2 wins to 1. Jangbi is going to have to pull something out here on Byzantium 2 to take Game 4, to bring it to an epic 5th game rematch on the same game that Game 1 was played on, Neo Harmony. So let's hope Jangbi has it in him to bring it out and give us some nice 5-game series epicness. And yeah, should be fun to watch here.
Yeah, absolutely must-win matchup for Jangbi. It's interesting. I feel that it looks like Luxury's won the battle of the mind game so far, and Jangbi has probably won the battle of the micro. Although, considering the fact that he let Luxury get 7 Zerglings in his main in the last game, that wasn't really great micro. Considering the fact that he had 3 photon cannons, I don't know. Was it that he just put down 1 photon cannon too many? Because if he put a gateway down earlier instead of that 3rd photon cannon, he could have maybe used it to block and got a zealot out. Was it just an issue of positioning, or was it just a great timing and strategy by Luxury? I'm not 100% sure. Why is it that despite having 3 cannons, he wasn't able to hold those Zerglings off? Maybe it was just too many Zerglings and they were speed upgraded, I guess. That was probably what it was. Anyway, Luxury starting up. It looks like Jangbi at the bottom left-hand corner of the map in yellow at the 7 o'clock position, and Luxury at the 10 o'clock position, I think in green.
Yeah, he's kind of a teal-green sort of color. I think, I remember Jangbi actually had his gateway up in that block before Luxury attacked, but Luxury, what he did is he ran across the ramp, he saw the blockade, and he literally ran all the way around the side, and so Jangbi had 3 or 4 or 5 probes blocking any entry into the front of his, blocking any of the gaps in the front of his little blockade there. But he didn't have anything on the side. He hadn't planned on down his Nexus yet, I don't think. So Luxury was just able to simply run around the side and just run straight in between, and there wasn't enough probes to get in the way. And Jangbi tried to get his probes on the ramp, but it just didn't get there in time. And so he was able to sneak through that way. So, yeah, and that pretty much gave him the lead for the rest of the game. And Luxury, again, 9-pull every single game. And Luxury, I mean, he is very good with mind games, I have to say. I mean, he won the quarterfinal. He won the quarterfinal the other day. I forget which league it is because he got very far in both leagues against Lita because of a mind game where he put down a fake Hydralisk Den to fake him out, and then went for mass mutas and owned him that way because he was prepared for 2 Hedge Lurkers. And there's Frozine in the audience, I believe, looking on, hoping his teammate Jangbi wins, I suppose. So anyways, Luxury very good with the mind games, very good with switching tech, very good with that sort of thing, but again, in the past he's also been stopped by players like Fantasy because he'll go all in on something. And he'll just go all-in mutas against Mass Valkyries, or he'll throw away his Mutalisks on Marines. So it's really, in a way, it's almost Luxury's game to win or lose here. It's Luxury's series to decide if he wants to play his A game and win it, or if he's going to play sloppy and let Jangbi's perfect play win the day.
Yeah, I wonder if that last matchup was an artifact of the map, whether that was just something that Luxury spotted as a loophole that he could exploit, as a weakness that he could break through, or whether it was just a mistake by Jangbi. At the same time, actually Luxury's gone for an overpull this time around, not a 9-pull, and it looks like he's again taking his drones off his gas, and now he's taking his natural expo, so we might be seeing speed upgraded Zerglings yet again from Luxury. It looks like he's trying to clear that scouting probe out of his base, but this map is probably going to be a little bit more easy for Jangbi to defend on at his natural expo, because he has put those 2 photon cannons down, and he's going to put the gateway down, and there's not really going to be any space for anything to sneak through. So I don't think that Luxury's gambit is going to pay off on this occasion, and Jangbi should be able to get a decent build order going, and we're probably going to see a more standard game. And thus far in the standard game, and Luxury, that's really poor micro by him, because he's been chasing with 6 Zerglings and he hasn't been able to kill that probe off. And I know they're not speed upgraded, but you should still be able to kill that probe off with 6 Zerglings. He's still not mining any gas at his main, so this is taking him a lot longer than I think he anticipated, and he's not really going to be able to put any pressure on his opponent, but at least he's finally taken that scout down, so he can start up doing whatever it is he's doing. But that was a very long time for him to have not any gas at all, and looks like those Zerglings have finally gotten the speed upgrade. And I'm sure Luxury knows where Jangbi's base is, and yet he's sending those Zerglings out in sort of a fan position, as if he's trying to get some sort of a scout off. I thought his initial overlord went in the right direction and is actually there, so I'm not sure what Luxury's trying to do. Right, he probably is, you're right. But it'll be interesting if he gets Burrow here. Again, I haven't seen Burrow yet in this matchup from Luxury. I suppose most of the games haven't gone that long, but Luxury's now put a 3rd hatchery down as well at the middle base, off Expo, off his secondary. So yeah, this is going to develop into an interesting sort of macro contest. Luxury a little bit behind in the initial economic game, even though he did go overpool, probably feeling he needs to catch up, and whenever he seems to be in that position, he seems to immediately put that 3rd hatchery down. That seems to be his counter to going even slightly economically behind in the builds.
Yeah, he seems to be doing exactly the same thing every time, going for the speedlings or at least the early pool, and then switching over and going into economy. And I think even though he took a long time to kill that probe, something I noticed that was critical is he killed it just in time, because he was saving up larva so that he didn't have to show Jangbi what he was going to be making, whether he was going to be making more Zerglings or if he was going to be making drones. And he had saved up 3 larvae, and it got to the point where he had to make something where he was going to lose a larva, and so he morphed 3 eggs and then killed off the probe before those eggs hatched, so Jangbi didn't know, if it was drones or if it was Zerglings, and he had to perhaps get a little bit more defense, be a little bit more cautious on his front door, not knowing if it was. Obviously, it hasn't played into anything. It could theoretically have, but I just thought that was a fun note to point out there. And he has gone for the Spire first after the 3rd hatchery, so pretty standard play lately. This has been a very popular build. We haven't seen it out of Luxury yet, really, in its full extent, but well, I guess we kind of have. But going for the 3 hatcheries, then gas, and then getting your Spire after that for Corsairs and what have you. And the Scourge come out at about the same time as the Corsairs, so it's pretty good for shutting that down. And then usually switching in the Hydralisks. And there's the Den already. So it does look like that is what we were going to be seeing here. Is some kind of build along those lines. But Jangbi has not gotten run by this time, and the games thus far, Luxury's won when he's been able to do some sort of early harass and take an early advantage. And I don't think he has taken that early advantage in this game, so Jangbi's gonna be able to put up a good fight.
Yeah, Luxury seems Jangbi doesn't seem to be able to put any pressure on Luxury, and he seems to be content to do that pretty much every game. I haven't really seen him put too much pressure on. Now he's got that Sarah out, and Luxury's got his Spire up as well, so that Sarah isn't really going to be able to do much bar scouting, really. And now he's going to finally see that 3rd expo, and it's just a question of whether or not he's got the tech follow-up to put some pressure, and this is obviously a must-win game for Jangbi. He is in a good position. I think Protoss can play very effectively till pretty late in the game with those 2 bases. If they can keep those 2 bases alive and build up a large enough force that they can really puncture the Zerg, and start rolling over Zerg forces and Zerg bases, then they can get in a good position. But I personally believe at this level of StarCraft, if you don't put any pressure on your Zerg opponent early on, and you just kind of sit back and sit back and sit back, your window of opportunity to actually be able to deal that sort of critical damage when you do try to make a move out, it narrows considerably. Now we've seen Jangbi try and do that effectively in the game that he did win, where he built up that ball and then he pushed out, and he used that push to take that next expansion. Although in that fight, Jangbi did make a tactical error and throw away 2 full groups of Zerglings, which obviously helped Luxury. Luxury made a tactical error and threw away 2 full groups of Zerglings, which helped Jangbi no end. But I don't see Luxury making that sort of mistake again this time around. Luxury's now got some Hydralists out as well, a decent sized force of Hydralists. It'll be interesting if he tries to go for. And we've got Speedlots coming in from Jangbi here. I totally did not see this coming at all. I didn't spot the force spinning. He has got some Hydralists as well as Sunken as well as Zerglings. So it looks like Luxury spotted this and is ready for it and is going to defend it. And Jangbi did a really great job of hiding those Speedlots because I just didn't spot them. They seem to pop out of nowhere. But Luxury's defense holds, and so he's going to be in a comfortable position. But it's just a question. whether he's going to be expanded around. It looks like Jangbi's going to try and run around the back and make a move at Luxury's natural now, but I think Luxury's got enough in the terms of forces to actually be able to defend this.
Yeah, Luxury, he doesn't have a lot of force on the ground at the moment, and those are +1 upgraded speedlings. Here he is going in, actually. There's no hatcheries in the way of this time, so he is going to be able to take down the Sunken pretty quickly, but in the meantime, a lot of Zerglings and Hydralisks focusing on those Zealots. I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish enough damage, and as you said, he does end up having enough forces to hold this off. He may even lose that second Zealot and just escape with a single Zealot alive at this point. In the meantime, Luxury coming in for a counter. He's going to be able to put some pressure on with range upgraded Hydralisks and start taking down those front door buildings. He's not going to be able to, you know, take out the +1 because obviously it's finished already. But he is going with these 5 hatch Hydralisks, and Jangbi really hasn't done enough damage with that speed Zealot attack to really make up for it. And now Luxury is really going to be able to put the pressure on here. Jangbi is not quite out of it yet, but Luxury going in with a ton of Hydralisks. The probes coming off the line. Storm is not upgraded yet. He loses one of his Templar before it was able to... Oh no, he didn't lose it. It got lost there. I stopped being able to see it. But he can't lose those Templar. It looks like the Templar are under attack. Luxury is going... Oh, Storm does come in! Storm does come in, but he's under so close of an attack that he wasn't able to utilize that Storm. And the second Storm completely misses. Jangbi, I think, has lost his opportunity. Those 2 storms were his chance to save his base, and I think he's just lost it because now he's forced back. He's going to lose his expansion, and look at the almost look of resignation on Jangbi's face as he kind of shakes his head, knowing that he's going to lose his natural expansion now. And once he does, yeah, the expansion goes down. That is pretty much it. Now he's going to get bottled in his base at the top of that reverse ramp at the very least, but Luxury is not even going to try and bother containing him. He's just going to go in, and Jangbi doesn't have much longer, I think, at this point. And I'm not sure if...
Yeah, fantastic play by Luxury. Obviously, Jangbi tried to go for a timing attack. That was that was his all in. He was going to go in with those 6 or 7 Zealots and force a timing attack on Luxury, and he didn't go for any other tech. He was waiting for the High Templar to pop out, but he committed so many resources to that, and GG finally. So Luxury is the new MSL champion. Finally, after having toiled for such a long period of time, he has taken the crown, and well played to him. He's deserved it, he's earned it. Some people will argue that he had a relatively easy road to the finals, that he hasn't really faced a player like perhaps Lita or Savior even, although Savior Zerg versus Zerg isn't at top tier right now, or perhaps a Jaedong, or a Flash, or one could even argue a Bisu. And Luxury has managed to somehow avoid all of these players and take the championship. So full credit to him for doing that. But yeah, I mean, it looked to me like Jangbi was just going for that timing attack with the +1 speed lots with about 6 or 7 of it, and Luxury's build perfectly countered that because Luxury was going for a Hydra Link timing attack at Jangbi's choke, and unfortunately Luxury's timing attack just trumped him, and Luxury getting tossed up by the KTF. And this is a good season for KTF. they've progressed in the Winners League against SK Team 1, and now they've taken down the MSL. So good season for KTF, finally returning to some of their past glory.
Yeah, definitely. Luxury, obviously, a very good trade for KTF, taking Luxury only I think a season or 2 ago from OGN there. So and recently recruiting for GG for that matter. But anyways, Luxury, yeah, I mean, you results speak for themselves, and you know, he has faced some really good players. Even though he hasn't faced, you know, the most famous ones, he didn't face Flash in this MSL, he didn't face Bisu, but he faced some pretty good players. He beat Huashen, he beat Lita, he's now beaten Jangbi, all very, very strong players. It's not like he breezed through to the finals, and then putting up an extremely strong showing in the finals here, and you know, 3-1, you can't argue with 3-1. You know, even though his Ultra Link strategy didn't work out on that one game, he took the games where it counted, and yeah, and it's funny. It's almost as if his building placement won him the game there, because Jangbi came in with that timing attack, and Luxury had 3 hatcheries in the way of that one sunk colony and some Zerglings as well, but he hadn't started producing all of his troops yet, and Jangbi had to fall back for just 20 seconds to go around the long way to attack the natural, and that was enough time for Luxury to get out enough Hydralisks and Zerglings to fend it off. So yeah, he just countered it perfectly, and wow, was able to take the game. So GG Excellently played by Luxury, and he finally gets a win after striving so hard and after making it so far. He's the only one that made it to the semifinals in both Star Leagues, and was able to make it to into the finals and out. And there's the coaches trying to console Jangbi, who I'm sure went into this game very confident and hoping he could win there. So wow, that was pretty good play though. GG.
Well played, and I'm quite chuffed for Luxury. I'm really glad he's pulled out the victory there. I feel bad for Jangbi because he's turning into the new Stork. Ironically, considering
Yeah.
he's on the same team with him, he must be getting some tips from Stork on how to lose finals, on how to bottle it in finals. I don't know. I don't know if he really bottled it there, but it did seem to me like his play wasn't very proactive. And barring game two, where Luxury I think made a lot of mistakes and where Jambi was kind of ahead in the build order. Other than that, I really didn't see him putting a lot of pressure on Luxury. Again, I guess if a timing attack fails, a timing attack fails. It is pretty much an all-in strategy. It is pretty much a strategy where you really commit yourself, and when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I guess you should give credit to Jambi for trying that and for trying to target the strategy, and it didn't work out. But I didn't really see him try to pressure, and he went for the Forge Fast Expand every single time. I didn't see him try to go for maybe Reverse Sair or DT Sair. I think it would have been worth it for him to maybe try that even once, considering that he did get that Forge Fast Expand going at least in two of the games. So, but I think when you're just content to sit back behind your base for so long, you have to if you don't put any pressure on the Zerg early on, you have to do something different. And you have to try and catch them off guard, or you have to try and go for a big hammer blow. I guess the speed upgrade lots, again, 6 Zealots speed upgrade lots on their own aren't a lot. If he had maybe held back those 6 speed lots and waited for the High Templar and used the speed lots as a wall with the High Templar behind them, maybe he would have had a chance against Luxury's marauding Hydralisks and Zerglings. But instead, he found his speed lots trapped and cornered in that game, and gotten taken out, and then he was down those 6 speed lots when he needed them to defend his main, and he
Yeah.
just didn't have them. And even then, even despite that, his High Templars, the energy for the storms came far too late for him. So I'm not sure if even there. But again, he could have used his buildings just as cannon fodder and allowed them to absorb the damage from the Hydralisk while his High Templars got the storms up, and then he would have been able to use the Zealots as a wall. Obviously, he didn't realize what Luxury was up to. Luxury did a good job of denying that information to him, and that's one of the problems with these sort of all-in builds, where you're kind of going all in regardless of what the opponent has. It's like playing with a pair of 3s or a pair of 6s. You're going all in. If the other guy has got a pair of 9s, you're done. And unfortunately, Jambi was done.
Yeah, definitely. And just for the record, Bisu beating Jangbi twice in 2 finals in the span of, I think it was just a couple weeks or something. I don't recall how close they were, but Jangbi silver of the GOM Classic Season 2 and silver of the Club Day MSL, and now taking silver in the Lost Saga MSL. So you're right, he is taking after Stork. Stork finally got a gold, and so it was time for someone else to take over the silver torch and start taking silvers for Samsung. And Jangbi has decided to take up that torch very well. I'm disappointed though. I was kind of rooting for Jangbi personally, although Cholera wanted us to mention that he was rooting for Luxury. So Cholera will be happy about this result there. And maybe it's just the Stork fanboy in me, but I have to say that if Stork hadn't gotten creamed by Jangbi, I think he would have put up a better fight against Luxury. But maybe it's just the fanboy in me, because Stork doesn't have an extremely good track record against Zerg. But anyway, it was an exciting set nonetheless. And yeah, I mean, that's exactly what happened. He just went all in with that speedlet rush, and it got repulsed. And just the timing is almost excruciatingly wrong timings for Jangbi. The timings of the speedlots just barely got into his natural expansion, just slightly too late. And then the storm energy, or the storm upgrade, came in for those Templar. Just literally, if the storm had been 10 seconds earlier, he would have been able to storm all of those Hydralisks on his front door instead of just desperately storming 3 of them to save his Templar. And he would have been able to fend off that attack and make a game out of it. But Luxury just getting right on the ball and taking the opportunity as he saw it, seizing it, and going for that immediate counterattack once he knew that Jangbi had gone all in on that speedlot rush, and taking the game. So props to him. And yeah, like you said, KTF taking another championship there.
GG no re.
GG no re.
Let's hope let's hope Jangbi can truly follow in Stork's footsteps and ultimately come good, because otherwise I would feel sorry for him. Although right now Stork, even though his teammates lost, he's probably laughing it up inside because hey, he's no longer the King of Silver. He's won a few championships and Jangbi's there to take his place.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, maybe a King of Silver for a little bit longer.
Hopefully it's
couple more championships for Jangbi to lose in the finals.
Yeah, hopefully it's not a re in this. Like, he lost to Bisu in the MSL finals, and then he did re him in the finals of the GOM Classic. So
excuse me.
Maybe we'll see these two in the finals of the next GOM Classic or something like that, or something along those lines. Anyway, but yeah, GG, well played.
Yeah, Bisu should have his nickname changed to Scourge of all Samsung Khan Protoss players.
Oh man.
He just hates destroying. He just loves destroying them for some reason.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway. Yeah. So GG. I guess that's all. Take care.
Oh, hey guys, also please go check out my featured video on my YouTube page. I know a lot of you guys have been interested in my novel that I've been working on, so you can go and read the first 3 or 4 chapters on this website, and how to do it. There's a full tutorial on my page. If you want to be lazy, you can go to www.autonomy.com and search for Lesser Sins. Please, if you like it, do back me up. You'll have to log in or register, and just put me on your bookshelf, add me to your bookshelf, and vote for me. And if you guys help me get up into the top 5 by the end of the week, then it gives me a chance to be read by some publishers and hopefully get some useful feedback that'll help me take the book forward. So thanks again for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed the commentaries, and please go vote for me.